RIZIN 33 predictions, this year's New Year's Eve card. It's a fun one. I'm looking forward to talking about it. Guys, smash the like button if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and turn those post notifications on. We'll talk about the key fights on this card. We will start it off first with the Bantamweight Tournament alternate bout. It features Yuki Motoya versus Yuto Hokamura, aka Kenta. Very interesting matchup. There's always potential in a tournament of one of these guys being placed in. On the side of Yuki, his last one was the loss to Kenta Takizawa. On the opposite side, Yuto lost to Naoki Inoue. If you remember him, Inoue, formerly a UFC fighter, released after a split decision loss to Matt Schnell. I feel in this matchup that Kentaro's grappling can be the difference maker. I do expect him to win a decision. I feel like there's things to like about Yuki. He does have a pretty solid pressure style of striking. He's strong in very close range. He likes the clinch, the tie clinch, the single collar. He'll be active with punches and knees from there. Not bad on the floor, but I think there's an edge towards Kenta. On the side of Kenta, another attribute that I do like, he's a southpaw. He's a pressure striker in his own right, but really likes to mix in the level changes. Normally, you will see takedowns after the level change from clinch position, more so even trips. On top, he's heavy. Being in the southpaw stance, he does bring a powerful left hand to play here. Could be a factor. Yuki in the last fight stopped in the first round. He was ran through, hurt badly, and broken in that last fight. I feel like Yuto, aka Kenta, goes out there, wins a hard-fought decision. He's the younger man of the two, even though coming off of a loss, not so handily, and it's not long ago. The losses for both of them were on the same night, 2 months ago for each, or I guess not technically the same night, but close to one another. I mean, 2 months ago, previous fights, losses for both, a finish on the side of Yuki. I think Kenta, Yuto, he gets the win by a unanimous decision to start it off. I'm really excited to talk about this next fight. It is for the lightweight championship. Roberto de Souza Satoshi takes on Yusuke Yachi. Previously, they fought, and it was Souza running right over Yachi here. It was not competitive. He stopped him early in the first round with ground and pound, was able to get the fight to the floor, and there was nothing his opponent can do. I look at this matchup and I say to myself, can anything really change? Watching recent bouts of Yachi, he's still getting pressed up against the ropes, still getting close distance on, controlled, and now fighting a grappling ace. I mean, Souza's ground game is phenomenal. He beat Tofik Musayev. I think that's a huge win. He submitted him early. Win against Kazuki there. Dominant submission. Quick. These are all first rounds. And then you see the rematch now, a year nearly and a half in the making. But there was a loss to Johnny Case. I think a guy that gives Souza problems is more of an American-style wrestler with very good takedown defense and knockout power. He's not getting that on the opposite side. I see this fight going more of the same. For Yachi, if there's anything he can do different, stay on the outside with the kickboxing and hope to land a dynamite strike that badly hurts Souza. Souza will get a hold of him at some point. You look at the triangles. That is his go-to move, and they're phenomenal. He gets them from the clinch position, gets the fights to the floor, and can easily set things up. He's comfortable off his back, comfortable on top. If this fight is on the floor, it is Souza's game. I see Souza getting the win in the rematch here. I'm going to pick submission this time in the first round. I do expect him to defend his belt. Very interesting grappler. I want to see more out of Souza. I'm very excited for this fight. He's a hot prospect. I mean, he's more than a prospect. He's a champion. Outside of the UFC, doesn't necessarily have the name value just yet, but if he can get a big submission win here, sky's the limit for Souza. I do expect him to get the victory. Now, unfortunate, no lines on either of the recent bouts yet. If they do drop, I like Souza wins by submission prop a lot here. Potentially inside the distance as well, because he may go for the TKO, which he was able to do in their first meeting. Now, the next fight of the night. It is Hiromasa Ougikubo versus Naoki Inoue. I like Inoue here. I really feel as though this is not an easy matchup for Hiromasa. I was a fan of Hiromasa on The Ultimate Fighter. I do think he's a really well-rounded guy. He has a solid kickboxing game, but look at the height difference. 5'8" to 5'3". He's nearly 35 years of age. He's fighting a 24-year-old. Inoue has every attribute to win this fight. He controls range well. He fights good from distance. I've been impressed with him throughout his run in RIZIN. He's on a dominant win streak. The loss in the UFC is a split to Matt Schnell, and then he got released. I don't think the release was necessarily a great move because Inoue is coming into his own. I guess maybe it was better for his career, go to RIZIN and really build himself there. Really solid, patient pressure style of striking. Range control, good kickboxing, nice low kicks, solid straight punches. Hard guy to get a hold of. He moves extremely well. On the opposite side, Hiromasa, he's pretty skilled in the stand-up game as well. More of that pressure style of attack. Comfortable out of both stances. Does have a pretty nice stance switch to the right hook, left hook combination. He'll do closing distance. And then if he has you against the ropes, he will unload with some flurries. He's got very dangerous hooks. But I don't see him having an easy time with the size difference. I think should be a dominant performance by Inoue on the feet. I do expect this fight mostly striking. I think Naoki Inoue win by a unanimous decision. He will now move on to the tournament finals, and things will get very interesting in this final. We'll go jump to the next fight, which will be the winner of that one, the opponent. Asakura versus Kenta Takizawa. Asakura is a phenomenal fighter. I do like him to win here. We have to tell you out of the gate, and I don't think anybody is all that surprised by that. He's a dangerous stand-up fighter, very fast with serious KO power, excellent overhands, good left hooks to the body. I mean, he'll dig them deep. He'll throw combinations in close range. His kicks are very good. Controls range well and also has that patient pressure style. And you look at the resume. Wins over Kyoji Horiguchi, Manel Kape, Hiromasa. Also has a win against Aori Quilong, who's now inside of the UFC. Or excuse me, I believe Heli Eletong, not Kyoji Ilong. I like Asakura a lot. I think the stand-up game is phenomenal. I think he's really UFC caliber of fighter. He takes on Kenta Takizawa, which is a fun matchup because Kenta's a slick striker who's improved his game. He's on a good roll, 2-fight winning streak, lots of kicks. He definitely has that karate-style influence in his game. Now, in close range, he throws wide hook flurries that I see Asakura doing damage with counters from. I think Asakura has levels above in skill set. Both guys young, 28 versus 27. I think Asakura knocks out Kenta Takizawa in the first round. He then jumps to the finals. And now we have to talk fantasy here because the finals matchup essentially is fantasy. It will feature any of these four, potentially six, if somebody gets injured and Yuki or Yuto end up taking a fill-in spot. So let's talk hypothetical here. My hypothetical pick for the matchup that it's going to be will be Asakura versus Naoki Inoue. This matchup, intriguing. Inoue never finished. Losses by decision. Losses to Matt Schnell by a split decision. Asakura has been stopped before. He's got all his losses by KO. If Inoue can land the big shot, I think he could put Asakura down and hurt him. I don't think that's an easy feat to do. I look at this matchup, and I really feel like it's going to depend on how much damage and fatigue they took from their first fight. Hiromasa, not an easy guy to put away. I don't think he gets put away by Naoki Inoue. I feel like Kenta has been finished. Proven guy that you can put him away. I think Asakura goes out there, finishes Kenta. I think Inoue wins decision more so. Now a little bit of fatigue set in. I think Asakura works towards the win here. I'll pick Asakura wins by a unanimous decision and becomes the RIZIN tournament champion. We have a fantastic card. I apologize if I botched any names. Some of these Japanese names are difficult to say. I can't wait for the card. I'm going to be tuning in to this RIZIN bout. We have fantastic action on New Year's Eve. Guys, smash that like button. Show some love. Support the channel. If you're new, subscribe and turn those post notifications on. I wish I could give you guys the in-depth betting breakdown side of this card, but unfortunately, no odds have been released. If there are odds released, maybe I'll throw out a this week's best MMA bets for this card, but as of right now, they have not been. we can only guess. My pick is Asakura wins the whole thing. That is really my take there. Overall, some fun matchups, just fantasy talk. We'll quickly go through this one fight that I guess is the last one we'll talk about. It's not MMA. It's a custom rules fight. Quickly, we'll talk about it. Tenshin versus Takanori. The Fireball Kid is back in a boxing match. Tenshin Nasukawa has said he plans to jump over to boxing completely in the next several months. He's saying goodbye to RIZIN. This is, I think, the second fight before his farewell bout, which will be a kickboxing matchup. This is boxing. I expect it probably to go the distance because the size difference here is crazy. 156 the last weigh-in for Gomi, 124 for Tenshin. I'll say decision, and they'll probably call it a draw because who knows if this fight will even be judged. It's an exhibition matchup. Tenshin will then be jumping over to boxing. Always fun to see the Fireball Kid back in Japan, 43 years of age. Look at that, 23 versus 43, 20-year age difference. It's still fun, though, that Takanori gets to go out there and put on a show for his people. Overall, RIZIN bringing the entertainment, the only mixed martial arts bout that we have during this downtime period, the MMA drought, truly, at least for the UFC, Bellator, PFL, and other organizations. Guys, I hope you enjoyed. Smash the likes. If you're new, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on. Let me know what you guys think of the predictions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed some RIZIN coverage. Let me know if you want me to maybe do it more often. I'll cover RIZIN on a fairly regular basis because they do have some pretty solid cards. I will primarily talk about what I feel are the key bouts on the card rather than just, the full card with some debuting guys or whatnot. But thank you guys so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.